Now back to the Barbershop, powered by Snoqualmie Casino, Seattle's closest casino, and by Talking Rain on Sports Radio 950 KJR.
They almost cuss on the show, True.
Yeah, they did.
I was worried there for a second. I had my finger on the dumb button.
We about to blame Stanky Steve because they going to put us out. Stanky Steve did it. Welcome back to the Barbershop Show here on Sports Radio 950 KJR. My name is T. Holla. Got my man Marcus True Fun in the house with me, and we've been having fun in here all night. We're going to be rocking with you all the way to 8 o'clock p.m., just like we do every Wednesday night. Make sure you tune in on Hump Day from 6
from 6
to 8, and we're going to be doing the same type of thing, having fun, talking sports, hopefully a lot of Seahawks, a lot of politics, current events, everything that you would normally talk about in the barbershop when you're hanging out with your boys. We want to invite you guys into our world, kind of conversate with us the way we conversate, the way we hang out, only in the barbershop. And we've been talking about the Seahawks earlier today, all the excitement that's been going on out there at training camp. True, I want to talk to you a little bit about training camp. We'll talk more about this here in just a second, but training camp last year, do you remember going out there? You and I as members of the media.
Mm-hmm.
And, being on the other side of the fence for once, the guy with the microphone. How was that for you?
That was actually pretty cool because during training camp, it's the dog days in training camp. And for me, towards the end of my career, it was like getting ready for practice was like getting ready for a game. I'm up there early. I'm getting in the cold tub. I'm getting in the hot tub. I'm getting stretched. And as you get older and your body starts to change a little bit, it's rough. And I know the Seahawks, they do a great job at taking care of the guys and stuff like that. But it was great for me to see the guys sweating and pretty much dog tired, and I'm on the outside. I'm laughing and joking with the fans.
You was kind of teasing them a little bit, though, too, because you know what they were going through.
Right. It was fun to be on the other side. But I know they put in a lot of work, and that's what you got to do if you want to be great.
Absolutely. And that's where they are right now. They're 4 days in. They actually had the day off today, so they got a chance to rest their weary body and rest their bones. And I think they went pads yesterday for the first time. So, that was a new experience for a lot of those young guys getting their first opportunity to strap up the pads in the National Football League and run around there with the big boys. You remember the first time you got to put your pads on out there?
Oh, yeah. And I bet it was a lot of scuffles, a lot of fights, and that's exactly how it's going to be. Everybody trying to show out, everybody trying to do their thing, especially the young guys. So that's just how it goes, but they'd be all right.
Yeah. One thing I know last year that you did at Seahawks training camp that was probably a little different than you've ever done was you skydived. You skydived into training camp on the last day of practice.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. You forgot about that, huh?
Right.
I want you to tell our listeners right now how that experience happened. First of all, had you ever even thought about jumping out of a plane before?
Oh my God. Never, ever.
Yes.
But being an athlete, it's just certain stuff you don't do or they tell you not to do. They tell you not to do the extreme sports, the skydiving, the bungee jumping, even playing stuff like basketball and stuff. They try to get you to stay away from that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and so that was something you absolutely would never do. And I've always told anybody that ever listened to me telling the story, I would never, ever. And I don't consider myself a coward by any stretch of the imagination. There's not many things on earth that I'm afraid of, but I would never, ever jump out of an airplane. It's just me.
It was awesome, though. It was really a great experience. I would definitely do it again, though.
And one of the things that you were very fortunate to go out with some guys that are probably the best in the industry. And it's so funny that it's not even funny. I think it's just really absolutely cool that we have an intricate link to this person. And we were able to get him on the show. I remember turning on the TV on Saturday night and seeing Heaven Sent all over the screen. And the Heaven Sent was this thing, a guy was going to jump out of an airplane at 25,000 feet without a parachute. Wow. And it was live on national TV. And it was just, man, we were glued to the TV. And I know people around the country were glued to the TV. And it just so happened this was a guy that we had a connection to. And he's a local guy. And he's one of the greatest skydivers of all time. And we were very fortunate to have him on the show with us tonight to talk about that historical jump. And his name is Luke Aikins. And we got him on the horn with us right now. Tune your radios in. Turn them up. Because we got Luke Aikins on the phone with us. What's going on, Luke?
Not much. Just happy to be back in Seattle.
We're glad to have you back, man. And I just wanted to ask you before we get started here, man, we want to jump right into it. What's new, man? You been doing anything exciting?
Oh, man, what a crazy week.
Tell us about it, man. Tell us how it all started. Tell us what you've been doing out there since you jumped out of the airplane at 25,000 feet without a parachute.
So after the jump, I pretty much headed straight over to New York, and I spent all day yesterday. We did 12 hours of media blitz, starting out with the Today Show, Sports Center on ESPN, kind of hit everything up yesterday. Super smoked and tired, and then flew back to Seattle this afternoon, and now I'm going to see if I can't take a break for a couple days after this.
Well-deserved, absolutely well-deserved. Now, let me tell you this. So True and I were talking for the last couple of weeks. Now, we've been hearing about this Heaven Sent jump for a long time. We have a lot of friends, mutual friends in common, and I've heard about it for it seems like forever we've been hearing about this jump, and I was like, when is it ever going to happen? But the thing that I asked True last week, after 18,000 jumps, and you've had 18,000 jumps, right?
Yes, sir.
What would make you think, hey, I think I can do this thing without a parachute?
Actually, Chris Talley at Precision Food Works, he's a Seahawks nutritionist. He came up with the idea, and they called me, and I actually turned him down. I said, you guys are crazy. There's no way. And then after I thought about it for like 2 weeks, I kept waking up thinking about it. I was like, you know what? I think you could do it, but you'd have to do it like this. And I called them back, and I told them everything it was going to take to make that thing happen. And they said, let's do it. And we started working on it. And now took every bit of jumping skill that I have to be able to hit that little tiny net from that high, by the way.
Absolutely amazing. Hey, you're listening to the Barbershop Show. We got Luke Aikins here. He's the parachute daredevil who jumped out of the airplane last weekend from 25,000 feet in the air and landed in a 100-yard by 100-yard net. And True, he jumped out of the plane with you last year. He's here. He wants to ask you a few questions.
Hey, Luke, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing since your jump? Pretty good?
Yeah, and man, I'm doing. Yes, my jump was awesome. I had a great time, and I would definitely love to do that again. I definitely love to do it again. So after you get your rest, I'd like you to take me out again.
One little correction for you guys. It was 100 feet by 100 feet. I wish it was 100 yards by 100 yards. That'd be easy.
That's right, 100 feet. My goodness.
All right, so I want to take it back kind of to the beginning, to a young Luke. What kind of kid were you? Were you that kid that jumped off the garage and had the paper bag over his head as his parachute? Were you that crazy kid that the teachers had to say, get down off that ladder? Or just what kind of kid were you growing up? Because it still kind of baffles me that you did this, man.
Pretty much exactly what you said. I didn't do the best in school. I had a little bit more focusing. I wasn't focused so much, but I was always the kid that was very social out there pushing the edges of stuff. And I'd always get the comment from the teachers, pleasure to have in class. And whenever you get that, you know that everybody knows what that means.
Right.
Oh, yeah, we know the code word. I think I was a little bit of that kid, too. Now, question. Now, as I'm sitting here looking at the TV, and I'm watching the entire lead up to it, and I'm watching, they're showing the preparation, and they're showing the ascent up to 25,000 feet. And I'm start thinking in my head, 25,000 feet? Why in the world did you have to go that high to jump?
It was actually the 25,000 feet. I mean, it was a bit of a show there. Once you jump out from 1,200 feet or so above the ground, you're going the same speed whether you jump from really high or not. So it was a little more of added a little drama to the show. And because
there's totally theatrics to it, because you had to have, at 25,000 feet, for those of you who did not see it, at 25,000 feet, you had to have an actual oxygen mask.
Yeah, so it actually made it harder. It made it a lot trickier to jump with the O2 than it did if I was down, the altitude that we jumped from, Marcus. If we went from that altitude, I wouldn't have to deal with all that, but it also wouldn't be quite as spectacular looking back on it.
Right. We're here with Luke Aikins, the man who jumped out of the airplane at 25,000 feet with no parachute and landed in a net that was 100 feet by 100 feet. I also want to ask you real quick, was there ever a moment while you're in the plane, whether loading your stuff onto the plane, ascending up to 25,000 feet, or anywhere along that process where you said, maybe this isn't such a good idea?
100%, man. When I took off the parachute, we didn't have the total permission that we needed from the union. Tried to actually stop us because they were really worried about it. It was such a high-profile thing. And when I took off my parachute, about halfway up, I was doing it. My wife and I talked about it. We decided we were going to give it a go. We were going to do it the way we wanted to do it, the way we'd practiced and rehearsed it, and we weren't going to let anybody tell us any different. I had that parachute off in the plane. I looked over at my teammates, and there was probably 30, 40 seconds in there where I was thinking, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? What's the point? And then a couple seconds into that, my cousin, Andy Farrington, who I handed my oxygen system off to, he kind of nudged my leg. I don't know if you could tell I was a little bit tense. He nudged my leg and gave me that, little fist bump.
Yep.
I was like, we got lots of time. Slow down. I started to slow down and took a couple deep breaths, and I thought about all the stuff I worked with Michael Gervais, the Hawk sports psychiatrist.
Yes, we had him on the show last week. Sweet.
So Mike helped me, really work on honing and visualizing what was going to happen. And he told me, don't be surprised if these thoughts creep into your mind. It's what you do with them in that last few moments. And I thought about all the preparation, all the work we had done and how confident we were in it. And then a couple seconds later, I never thought about it again, man. We just put it out and went to work.
Wow, that just reminds me of Pete Carroll. Just everything you said right there sounds just like Pete, man. That's crazy. But the question I got, I kind of want to go behind the scenes. I want to know, how do you steer yourself in the sky? You jumped out of a plane. How do you steer yourself? Do you have to place your hands or your arms a certain way to land on a 100 by 100 net that's on the ground? How exactly does that work?
So when I jump out, I go out in a big box position, like almost so you're doing a big jumping jack. And then you start to angle your body. To move forward, I sweep my arms backwards and I straighten out my legs. That puts more surface area on the lower half of my body and helps me drive forward. I do the same thing to go backwards. I put my arms out, pull my legs, and I go backwards. Same thing sliding left and right. And it's just, 18,000 jumps, doing this over and over again. I think when I was filming you, Marcus, when we jumped out over the training camp last year, you could see me flying around. I think I was laying on my back, flying around you.
Right.
Same type of skill. I don't even think about it, right? It would be like somebody running down the field. You don't think I need to put my right foot and then my left foot and then my right foot.
Right.
I just think I need to go over there, and I just go there.
That's incredible. Well, like I said, I watched the thing from the beginning to the end, and I've been a guy. Like I told Marcus, and like I told everybody that was just listening, I've been the guy that says I'm never jumping out of an airplane. I'm a chicken when it comes to that. I'm admit it. I'm a coward. I'm not jumping out of the plane unless it's on fire and upside down and heading down quick. That's the only way I'm jumping out. But my question to you is, I've always seen these guys jumping out of the plane, and I never put two and two together that there's a real physical aspect to it. And I understand that you had to go through some rigorous physical training. Can you tell us what you had to do to prepare yourself physically to make this jump?
Yeah, I mean, I used to play a lot and, do a lot of skydiving stuff that I'd been doing, and it all came pretty easy to me. In these last couple of years, I kind of let it go. I wasn't working out as much. So we knew that we were going to go from 120 miles an hour to 0 in about a second and a half. Mm-hmm. And we didn't know what toll that was going to take on your body, like a car crash. Basically, you were preparing for what we thought would be a car crash type of impact. So I started working out with Scott Prohaska, who super cool dude. He works with a lot of NFL players, even some Patriots, I know.
But we don't talk about that. We don't say the P word around here.
I worked out with some really cool guys, and he really helped get me stronger, just physically stronger, ready to handle this impact, so that when I hit, I was able to tighten up. Actually, if you see it, I hit and I do 2 rolls real fast, kind of tumbles me over my left shoulder. The first one, there was no way I was going to be able to stop it. It just threw my body into that one. And the second one slowed down a little bit. And the third one, I just kind of went with it because I knew everything was good to go. So all of that physical training, I mean, it ended up cutting 35 pounds or so. But more than that, I got a lot stronger, probably 3 times physically stronger than I was before. So when I hit and I tumbled through that thing and they set me on the ground, I wasn't sore at all the next day. Like, not even a little bit. It was like nothing happened.
Wow. Right. Well, yeah, I'm going to just keep it simple. So what's next?
I got a few ideas, but, I mean, this happened 3 days ago, something like that. So I think I'm going to enjoy this one for a while. I definitely will not be jumping out of a plane without a parachute anytime soon.
Okay. Well, listen. Hey, before we let you go, Luke, I want to ask you this, and this has been on the edge of my mind since I saw the jump, and I'm watching this, and I'm really watching it with one hand over my eye because I felt like I was in the plane. I felt like I was jumping out with no parachute. I was nervous for you, so I'm watching with one hand over my eye, and I'm seeing you come down, and I know they got the the ticker coming down saying you're at 2,000 feet. Now you're at 1,000 feet. And I see you hit the net. And in my mind, in my eyes, you were precariously close to the edge of the net. Were you that close, or was it just the angle that the TV had it and the cameras had it? Were you really close to the edge?
It was that both. I wasn't really close to the edge, but I was definitely not centered up where I wanted to be. I knew I was in the safe zone, and we hadn't done that. I had to flip to my back just before I hit. So once I was inside the net, I decided instead of keeping any momentum carrying me into the net, I wanted to lock it up. So once I knew I was safe at that low altitude into the net, I rolled it over. And I tried to roll it over and just come in, smooth into that position instead of being moving forward to get it. And once I hit that, I was like, oh, my whole body was shaking, adrenaline pumping through me. I mean, it was awesome. And not just for me. I mean, I had a massive team out there helping me make this thing happen.
Right. We saw it all. Hey, listen, we want to say thank you, Luke, man, for joining us here in the Barbershop. We're absolutely proud and excited, for you. And to have you on the show was just such a blessing, man. We just absolutely so excited that you were able to pull this off and be so successful with it.
Cool. I was really stoked. Pete Moran hooked this up for me at Resin Marketing. He did a great job helping me out, and talking to you guys is awesome. We got to get you out jumping again.
Absolutely. You're going to get Marcus out there jumping.
I'm ready.
I'll be good. I'm good on the ground. I'm good with the camera from down below.
All right. Thanks,
right on.
guys.
Thanks, Luke. We'll talk to you soon. Luke Aikins, man, the guy he will forever be the guy that jumped out of the plane with no parachute.
Yeah, that's a record. That's in the books, right?
That's in the books. Heaven sent, man. You guys got to hear it here first in Seattle. He's a local guy, and Marcus is going to get a chance to go out there and jump with him again. We not doing it. I'm telling you right now, and I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think I could physically do it. I think I would get on the edge of the plane and look out, and I couldn't do it. I think everything in me, my survival instinct, would tell me to whoop everybody on the plane before I go out.
And when you do a tandem, though, they kind of, the guy who's behind you, strapped to you right before you jump out, you're pretty much out of the plane, and he's the one who's sitting down on the plane. So my legs were outside of the plane. My whole body was pretty much out the plane. So I get to watch for 2 or 3 seconds the sky.
Right.
So it's pretty trippy, but once you get in the free fall, it's not that bad. It's not like a roller coaster feel. You're kind of just floating on clouds.
Right. And that's the part that scares me, man. Every time I imagine it just being 2 minutes of the roller coaster straight downhill feel. And that's what I don't want.
You scream a little bit like a girl, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, I remember. I saw you. We got the video for it. You can go check out the officialbarbershop.com. You can see that video, man. Incredible feat by a local legend, a local daredevil, a local parachute legend. Luke Aikins, the guy that jumped out of the plane from 25,000 feet with no parachute. Hey, when we come back, we're going to do a segment that we know and love here in the Barbershop called the Blank Stare News. We're going to discuss news items, things that you heard, whether it be at work, around the water cooler, you saw it online, you saw it on TV. It's a story that made you have a blank stare on your face. It's because it was so ridiculous. We want to hear them from you. Text us here at 49451 and let us know your blank stare stories. Only in the Barbershop on Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Now back to the Barbershop, powered by Snoqualmie Casino, Seattle's closest casino, and by Talking Rain on Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Welcome back to the Barbershop here on Sports Radio 950 KJR. My name is Terry T. Holloman. Got my guy Marcus Trufant in the building. We call him True. Ain't that what we call you?
Something like that.
Hey, next week we're going to bring back that segment that we used to do on our show called The Truth with True.
Okay.
We got to bring that back because a lot of people don't recognize, you can get the inside from other people who say they on the inside, but you can't really get the inside unless you got somebody that's been in there in the actual locker room, on the field, boots on the ground. You're really giving us the inside, right?
Hey, man, I'm ready, man. I'm out here snitching. I'm telling secrets. I'm doing it all. But let's bring it back,
You putting cases on everybody. We're going to bring it back next week, The Truth with True.
I know you heard me on the radio.
Hey.
There it is. Stay tuned. It's coming back, The Truth with True. But in the meantime, we got a segment that we all know and love. It's called the Blank Stare News, and we want you to help us out with it. Text in your stories right now, the stories that you heard, whether you were at work, sitting at your desk, cruising around on social media. Maybe you were around the water cooler. Maybe you were just sitting at home. And the story popped up and you heard it and you were kind of like, what? You couldn't believe it. It was so crazy. It was so ridiculous. It was so outlandish, so unbelievable that you heard this music in the background. That's the blank stare news. You got any of those stories, hit us up, 49451. Let us know those crazy stories that made you have the blank stare news. True, you want to get us started?
All right, I'll get us started. The blank stare news, this first story, a man by the name of Alexander Kirk recently flew from Holland to a Honan province in the hope of meeting his online girlfriend, a Chinese woman known only as Chang.
So he was online pimping.
Yes.
He had a woman. Okay, go ahead.
He was probably play pimping if you let the story
He
go
would play
on.
pimping.
But he ended up spending 10 days waiting at the Shanghai airport after she failed to show up and has won little sympathy from China. Mr. Kirk also told Chinese media that Mrs. Chang, 26, that he had met her in an app 2 months ago and the romance blossomed.
So he flew.
Right.
He flew all the way from Holland to China.
Yes.
To meet his online girlfriend.
Yes.
Only to chill in the airport.
Right.
For 10 days.
10 days. And a little bit more of the story. He refused to leave after 10 days and was eventually taken to the hospital suffering physical exhaustion. Say it ain't so.
Blank stare news. My goodness, what are you doing in the airport for 10 days?
10 days?
I can't be in the airport for 10 minutes, man.
Man, but you got to get the hint, man. You met her online and the romance allegedly blossomed, but 10 days?
10 days. Come on, bro.
I give you a couple hours.
You know how musty you would get laying up on the airport floor? Stinking and dirty. What you gonna do? It's not like you have a mattress. You make a little pallet out of your bag and a coat and cover yourself up.
That stank.
You stink.
Stank booty.
That's the ultimate definition of catfish. I'd be like,
Oh, hell no.
Fish? Oh, I sure hope it's catfish.
hope it's fish. I got a blank stare news, man. Also coming from overseas, we always hear about these people, these things that get recalled. You hear, you got recalled. It's bad food over there. It had salmonella poisoning or listeria or something. They banned this ice cream because it is recalled.
Right.
All right. There's these products that have been recalled over in Germany. A German grocery called Lidl, L-I-D-L, has removed packets of honey peanuts from shelves at its European groceries. Guess why they removed these packets of honey peanuts from the shelves of these grocery stores? Can you guess?
Did they have some bugs in them or something like that? Some cockroaches or something?
No bugs, no cockroaches, no nothing. Stanky Steve, can you tell me why you would think they would recall these honey peanuts from the shelves?
Gosh. They had pesticides in them.
Close. Very close. No. The German grocer Lidl has removed packets of honey peanuts from its shelves because they contained peanuts. They contained peanuts. People were buying the honey peanuts, the honey roasted peanuts, not assuming they would have peanuts in them, I guess. Makes sense to you, right?
What?
Not only are they removing the honey peanuts because they had peanuts, the brand is withdrawing its Milbona fruit yogurt because it didn't sufficiently warn customers that the product actually included dairy.
Oh, so it's like for allergies. Like people have allergies.
People
so
had
allergies. May
allergies.
contain peanuts.
Exactly.
May contain dairy.
The honey roasted peanuts had peanuts, and the yogurt had dairy.
I didn't think they had weird restrictions and stuff like that like they do in the U.S. where they have to, declare everything like the coffee cups has to say caution may contain hot liquid.
You think they just
for
got
people
a free
burning
for all?
themselves? Yeah.
Free for all in Europe? They can do whatever they want?
Yeah, you
No,
think so.
You got to make sure you say
Wow.
your honey roasted peanuts have
Sound
peanuts.
like Hustle Man to me.
Sound like some stuff you don't want to be a
Sound
part
definitely
of.
like Hustle Man.
Hey, Stinky Steve, you said you got one, man.
Yeah,
What's
I found
up?
one shortly ago. We know the Olympics are getting started, and we also know that there has been a craze in this new Pokemon Go thing, And a Japanese gymnast by the name of Koei Uchimura just got into Rio, and he had some spare time on his hands. So he was, on his phone going around trying to find Pokemon, even though they don't actually even have the capabilities of that over in Brazil. They don't even have them.
Right.
The game doesn't even exist over there. But he was determined, couldn't find any Pokemon, and he spent so much time on his phone with roaming and all that stuff that he racked up a phone bill of $5,000.
Wow.
And for nothing, for no Pokemon.
For a Pokemon that didn't even exist.
He's like, it must be a Pikachu around here somewhere.
Yeah.
It's gotta be. Nah, fool, you are in Brazil. They got like some bootleg Pokemon. I bet you right now you probably see some real Pokemon down on the streets of Brazil, like some kind of weird foreign ass insects somewhere.
I used to kind of know Pokemon though. My youngest brother, Desmond, at the time, I'm 10 years older, he used to have me go buy the Pokemon cards. So that was back in the day when they had the cards and they played the game. He had a booklet full of Pokemon cards.
Were you in the league yet?
I was close to in the league. I used to keep one in my wallet. It was so cute. I used to keep it in my wallet. My baby brother gave me the Pokemon. I think it was Jigglypuff. He sing you to sleep. So, what I'm saying? I know a little bit about it.
I can't
Shout
wait.
out to Pokemon.
Shout out to Dez for playing with the Pokemon. I can't wait till we have Brother Dez down there in Atlanta playing for the Falcons. Call in and tell us about his Pokemon, man. Hey, True, what else you got for the
Let's
Black
see.
Chef?
I got one more. Let's see. A Hooters in Michigan announced that they were a young man came over posing as a undercover cop, and he asked to see a list of people who worked there. After looking over the list, he asked for more information on some of the employees, but the Hooters servers were reportedly privy to his unusual ask, and the waitress called the police. And when the police got there, this young man said, I just wanted to talk to these girls because I wanted to be friends on Facebook. But not knowing that posing as a police officer carries a minimum, is a federally charge that carries a maximum of 4 year sentence.
Oh, so he was in there playing like he was the police.
Playing like he's a police. Usually when you try to get next to a girl, you may kind of stress the truth. Okay, yeah, I work at this I work at this law firm down the street.
I'm an entrepreneur. I got my own business.
Right. I own this club and I do this and that, but don't come in with the fake badge,
You the police,
acting like you the law.
Yeah. So he was.
And he had priors and all that, so he probably gonna get like 8 to 10 years.
All for some Hooter wings and chicks. So what happened? Did we have any end result? What happened after the end of that?
They said he had priors, and they said that that the felony carries a maximum of 4 years. But as a third-time habitual offender, his prison term could be doubled to 8 years behind bars.
Man, don't do it, man. Listen, fellas, word to the wise from the boys in the barbershop. Just tell the truth, man. If you're out there trying to meet these young ladies, you're going to Hooters. Do they even have Hooters anymore in Seattle? I don't know. But
I think they got one in T-Town.
You know where it is, don't you?
I done been there before. Or I done heard this one in
for the
T-Town.
wings, right?
I heard.
I know. Yeah, just be real, man. If they like you for you. If they don't, so be it. You know what I mean? Hey, I got one more for you. And this is going to go in line with one of our texters texted from 206. He says a blank stare news item would be 99% of what Donald Trump says. And I'm going to have to say, you're 99% right. 99% of what Donald Trump says out of his mouth is usually a blank stare worthy. But this one in particular, I mean, I really could have picked any one of them, but this is just one I thought was really funny. Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump, he's really had a hell of a week, True. He's had a lot of stuff going on, and he's been taking a beating in the media. And apparently the New York Times has been particularly rough on him. He does not like the New York Times. They said some, in his mind, some pretty bad stuff. And this is what he had to say on Fox News about the New York Times.
No matter how good I do on something, they'll never write good. I mean, they don't write good. They have people over there like Maggie Haberman and others. They don't write good. They don't know how to write good.
They don't write good. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm not going to try to be partisan. I'm not going to try to steer anybody any kind of way. But the potential first president of the United States says that somebody doesn't write good.
No matter how good I do on something, they'll never write good. I mean, they don't write good. They have people over there like Maggie Haberman and others. They don't write good. They don't know how to write good.
What do you do if you don't write good? What do you don't do good? Could they do gooder? Could they possibly do gooder than they're doing?
Or the goodest.
They might be the goodest. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of some other people that want to do gooder. They want to do good and want to do gooder.
So join now, because at the Derek Zoolander Center for Kids Who Can't Read Good and want to learn to do other stuff good too, we teach you that there's more to life than just being really, really, really good looking. Right, kids?
Right!
Really
good. They're good at stuff. Donald Trump is the Zoolander of politics right now, man.
You hit it right on the head.
Hey, listen, we want you guys to chime in with us every Wednesday on the Blank Stare News. Stockpile your stories that you hear them, because you know we all get them, man. Those stories that make you have the blank look on your face when you hear it. There's like, I can't believe that this happened. And in the back of your mind, you hear that. So save them up until next Wednesday, Hump Day, when we're joining you again. Next up, though, we have a segment that was invented by my man, Stanky Steve. Stanky Steve, you ready to bust out?
Oh, yeah, totally.
All right, we got this segment called Say What? And we're gonna
what?
Oh, there it is. We're going to explain it to you when we come back here in the Barbershop, only on Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Now back to the Barbershop, powered by Snoqualmie Casino, Seattle's closest casino, and by Talking Rain on Sports Radio 950 KJR.
I'll roll up, I'll roll up, I'll roll up, shorty, I'll roll up, I'll roll up.
Welcome back to the Barbershop here on Sports Radio 950 KJR. This is Terry T. Holloman. I'm in here with my boy Marcus True Fun. True, I got a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
I've been hearing all this music they've been playing as our bump music, coming back from commercials and bringing us in and stuff like that. I was wondering, do you think this is the same music Softy uses?
You know what? As I was looking through his CD book, I don't know if he has a lot of these songs.
Come on, you don't think so? You think, well, Softy was probably at Watershed this weekend. He was probably listening to, you got a little nice country selection.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I never hear anything like this on Softy's show.
I love Softy.
Shout out to
Shout out to
Softy.
my boy Soft, man. I love Softy. Those are the real professionals that you get to hear during the daytime. Mitch and Softy and Chuck and Ian, and those guys really do their thing, man. We really look up to those gentlemen.
Absolutely.
And we just kind of in here doing our own little barbershop thing. And one of the things we started a couple weeks ago, actually, I want to give credit where credit is due. Our producer, Steve, a.k.a. Stinky Steve.
Stanky Steve.
Stank Booty Steve.
Thanks, Texter.
Yeah. That came from one of our texters. They called him Stanky Steve. And he came up with an idea called Say What? And that's a segment we're going to do here pretty regularly. And we had a lot of fun with it last week. So, Stanky Steve, what you got for us this week on Say What?
Say what?
I got a couple of interesting and weird stories that happened among many athletes, and we're going to see if you can guess who the potential person is that was talking about this story. So we're going to start out with an ex-football player, and he was out fishing, and he had a little scary incident.
I look up at JC, and then I turn back, and I'm almost by the air at this point. Man, this sucker turned back and my shirt, he grabs my shirt and my wrist. I mean, right underneath where if you slice him, that's the bad part, right? So
yeah,
he's right at that point. So he locks on to the top of my shirt, and I snatch down. And luckily my shirt had the top of his teeth, because that part came loose, and he swung his bottom jaw to bite me, and it just knocked a nice little plug out.
How deep is the cut? It looks pretty deep.
Oh, yeah, he got me to the gristle. It's past the white meat. I mean, I should have went to the doctor, but I said I don't want nobody. Yeah, I'll be fine.
Say what again? Say what again?
You know what, Stanky Steve, you don't know the history. I'm gonna give you a quick one here in a minute, but I'm just gonna say I don't even want to address this one, man. I'm gonna let True on this one.
I love this on like a couple different levels. This is Warren Sapp, right?
Yeah.
Right, okay. Warren Sapp is a character among all characters in the barbershop. He had his own
Hell no!
He had his own music on our last show in the barbershop. It was awesome. It was
we might have to bring that back. If
right.
he keeps popping up in the news, we're gonna have to bring our song back for Warren Sapp.
But I'm gonna tell the story between Warren Sapp and Terry.
Yeah.
You know, Could be twins, not so much. But, yeah, we went down to Super Bowl a couple years ago. This is Media Day, Barbershop. This is our first time. We brought a camera from Best Buy. We had our own lighting and all this kind of stuff. So we was down there pretty much out the trunk.
Rogue.
We go to interview Warren Sapp, or Terry goes to interview, I guess what you could call an interview. Warren Sapp pretty much gives Terry hand to the face without touching his face. Don't talk to me. And then Terry goes to talk and ask a question. Warren Sapp acts like Terry spits on his face. He pretty much
bristles up to me, wipes his
on
face.
The ground, wipes his face with a towel.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was bad. Like Warren was in a bad mood already. He was mean mugging and yelling at other reporters.
I'm gonna find a video. I'm gonna post it at the
We
Barbershop
got a video.
later.
You can go on the official barbershop.com later tonight and find it. But yeah, Warren Sapp was not very kind, and me and him have not been on good terms since then. Huh. Although he doesn't know it.
So when you heard he got bit by a shark, you probably weren't
I was
crying
so happy.
tears?
I was so happy. Everybody in our official Barbershop Facebook group page, they know the history between myself and Warren, and they all tagged me on the picture, all tagged me on the story. So I knew immediately when we had that one. Yeah. What else you got, Stinky Steve?
All right. We have a press conference, and the first answer by this particular player is quite an interesting one.
I guess before we start, I do shower twice a day. Oh, man.
Say what?
I got an idea who this is. True to you? I'm going to let you go ahead one more time because I think I know who it is.
I think I know it, too. Is that Andrew Luck?
Sure is.
Yeah, that's Andrew Luck, man. Yeah. You know what's funny? Why did you say Andrew Luck? You mean, did you just recognize his voice?
Yeah, I could just hear it in his tone.
Yeah, it's on Stanford.
Right.
But you know what? Not only did I just get his voice, I knew his voice when I heard it. There's something about Andrew Luck. Every time I see him, even though he's a Stanford boy, we know he's very smart, very heady, very cerebral. Something about me makes me think he stank.
Really?
Like he looks like he stank, like he dirty, like he just came out the woods. You ever look at him like somebody like, man, this joker look like Grizzly Adams, look like he ain't took a bath in about 7-8 days.
Is it just the way he hold his face, or
everything you see is he got a beard that's kind of patchy. It don't grow in all the way, and he just looked dusty to me. Andrew look dusty. Go online and Google him. Google Andrew Luck and scroll down and see some pictures. He looked musty. Dusty and musty. Andrew Luck. I'm sorry, he might be really cool and smell fresh.
Well,
he might smell like
twice
orange.
A day.
That's what I'm saying. He might smell like orange peels and cinnamon, for all I know. But if you take 2 showers a day, that means you musty.
You know what? I got a confession.
You take 2 showers a day.
You know, there's some days where I need 2 showers, T, and that's it's not nothing to be ashamed of.
You gonna be? You fresh now.
If you understand and you know, I think that's better than being the guy that's not, who's in denial and who just walk around being musty
and dusty.
Yeah. So I'd rather be that guy.
Well, yeah. If you wake up, you take a shower, and then if you have a workout later in the day, you got to take a shower after that. So that's 2 right there.
Well, see, that's the problem. So what's what you should do? When you wake up and you know in your plan you're gonna work out, you're gonna do something to get dusty and musty. Just don't waste the water. Just go do your thing. Wake up, brush your teeth. Go get musty and dusty, and then take a shower.
Sometimes it's been a long day, though. Just the day itself, I'm going to place. I got a couple different meetings. I'm walking from here, I'm there. I'm nervous at the meeting, so I'm sweating a little bit, not just on my underarms, but in between my legs, my crack, or whatever.
Man,
it could be one of them days. You know what I'm saying?
All right, I feel you. I'm not going to argue with you. You and Andrew Luck is musty and dusty. What else you got, Stinky Steve?
I got one more, and it's actually two people you might know, and they were asked about the first thing that came to their mind when they were talked about 2 figures in sports.
When I say the following names, tell me what your thoughts are. Roger Goodell.
No, I'm joking. Can't say that. Roger Goodell, overpaid.
Tom Brady.
Kind of like the silver fox that you never get to see. But you hear about, that mountain leopard, snow leopard. But you only get to take one photo. You got to stay outside for a year just to get a photo of it.
That's Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Say what?
That was pretty good.
That was real good. I couldn't even begin to tell you who that is. That was 2 separate people, right?
2 separate people.
You know what? I don't even know if I could tell you who that was. That would be Go ahead,
I'm gonna go out. Was one of them Mike Bennett?
Yes.
There we go.
There's Mike Bennett.
Mike B.
Are they on the same team?
No. Well, no, but they have similarities.
Okay.
Oh,
so
I got it.
I got it now too.
Okay.
No wonder I couldn't get. I thought Mike B was one of them.
Yeah.
And I've really never heard the other one talk very often.
Okay.
So is it Martellus?
It sure is.
Listen, hey, hey, those Bennett brothers are something else, man. They are not just incredible football players, but they are both two incredibly smart people, two incredibly funny people, guys that are very. They were raised. I think his mom is like a teacher or something.
Oh, really?
in
And they
Houston.
love to give back too.
And
I've been to some of their foundation events, and they do a great job.
They do give back, but they're very, very funny. What do they call Tom Brady? Like a spotted
silver fox.
Silver fox. You have to wait outside and wait for it to show its face.
It's very elusive.
Don't move. Yeah.
Don't move.
We might see the spotted fox. Don't move. I feel it though. Tom Brady, he has an air about himself, right? He feels like he's above the game, just like Roger Goodell. Both of them are kind of above the game.
I would agree, T.
I know you would have to agree because you walk.
I mean, I don't have to agree, but can I choose to? I'm not gonna let you punk me.
I'm not punking you just because you walk around.
Into an answer.
Just because you walk around dusty and musty.
I know you got your tank top on today.
Yeah, I'm letting my armpits breathe tonight. Hey, thank you guys for joining us here in the Barbershop. We will be here every Wednesday night from 6 to 8. Make sure you come back and join us and bring some friends with you. It's Hump Day Party in the Barbershop here on Sports Radio 950 KJR. Only in the Barbershop with Marcus Trufant and Terry Holloman. Thanks for joining us.